Hello, Broken Lamp family. It has been a billion years since I've been back here. I am so sorry that we haven't been around in a long time, but life has been crazy, as I'm sure plenty of you know all about. Well, here I'm finally getting to some of the staple makeup pieces that people asked me for, and today we're going to be doing a basic sort of pin-up-y look with a modern flair, but because we're doing something that's sort of a staple makeup style, I'm gonna get the opportunity to show you some of how I do contouring and eyebrows, which a number of you have asked me about. So let's get this rolling, guys. I'm gonna start off with my foundation brush, and I am using Complexion Rescue Bare Minerals SPF 30 Opal. Opal is the name of this color because I'm too pasty for existence. A lot of beauty bloggers love to like do this whole put everything on your face in some sort of cute way. I don't give a crap about that. I just make it happen. About the time frame you're looking for a lot of pinup looks starts in, you know, the 30s and 40s, where having that porcelain sort of very matte and technicolor color spread was utilized. We're gonna use some of that, but then we're gonna sort of spice it up for the modern day. So I got my base on, we're doing pretty good. So from here, we're gonna do eyebrows. I have my Ardell palette. Now the Ardell palette has 4 different colors, as you can see. My hair is pretty dark, but I don't want to use this because this is black. This is a bit too dark. If I use that, then it's going to be heavier than I want for a general day wear look. If you want to make it more severe when you have darker hair, absolutely, like go nuts. If you're going to the club or doing a night look or something kind of specialized, a really heavy brow absolutely works. But for every single day, you don't necessarily want all that. I am going to use this medium brown color, and I'm going to show you how it looks. It does to the eye look lighter. However, what you're going to be matching approximately are not just the color of your hair, but the highlight of your hair. Hair has dynamic coloring, so you don't want to just slap on the big base color. It has to have an undertone to it. I have highlights of red in my hair, so this, for an eyebrow color, will be perfect. Have my trusty brow brush, and I think that's cat hair because my whole life is held together by cat hair. If you guys didn't know, cats make the world go around, and my cats allow me to live here, so I'm very grateful. A little bit of cat hair in the eyebrow brush, you know, it's part of the mystique, really. So I have my brush, and it's very difficult to tell, but this has even sort of a blunted end, which you want, but you don't. So what I'm gonna do to make sure that this stays more pointed is I'm going to lip point my brush. Lip pointing is something that a lot of artists do. It's basically take your brush and put it between here, and it's also, I gotta remove little bits of eyeshadow. But it does allow your brush to have a finer point, a more precision point. I'm gonna dip it in some water. You know, in a pinch, you can use saliva, but because I use my brushes on other people frequently enough, that's not the method I choose to use. And generally speaking, when I'm working with a client, I also do it by hand. So here we go. We have a much nicer, thinner point on my brush. A little bit of water, not too much. You're not looking to flood it. You're gonna go into your palette. And because I tend to do a more dramatic brow, this is definitely more of a modern take. There is no one perfect kind of brow. Something to understand. There are a billion different shapes, thicknesses. If by chance you do have like some patchiness in your brows, brow shadow is one of the best ways to fill that. I find that especially pencils tend to be too thick, too opaque, and then you wind up with like that caterpillar-y thing, which once again, you know, there's a place for it. You know, Jennifer Connelly's been ripping it up with some serious brows for a really long time. That's not the look that everybody wants. So don't get yourself sold on one specific brow shape, one specific thing, because your face is going to have different shapes to it. A lot of people don't talk about that. So here, I'm gonna do an arch because if you don't notice, I'm missing half of my eyebrows. My eyebrows only go to here and they don't even have like a curvy thing that goes down because I was a ding dong many years ago and I shaved my eyebrows off to do a burlesque show. It looked gorgeous, they just have never grown back in right. So you're gonna come right here, I'd say, you know, about a ½ inch in from your center point. You don't want this edge to come all the way up just because it's gonna look cartoony and drawn on. So as you can see, what I'm doing here is creating a guideline for the brow shape, right? It's got this foundational line, so I know where to go from here. Frequently enough, what I'll do so everything is even, I do the same thing on both sides so that I don't get so far into it and then realize that I'm all, you know, fakakta. On brow symmetry, understand that your face does different stuff. So if they're not perfectly symmetrical, if one is a little higher, etc., chances are you are the only person who notices. Making yourself nuts before you're going out and you're doing something nice because it's not super precise, breathe it out. Don't let yourself get crazy about it because this is about looking good and part of looking good is feeling good. So don't freak yourself out, move on, breathe, and just understand you're perfect even if you don't have perfect symmetry. So doing it this way has shown me about as far out as I want to go. You can go shorter, you can go longer. I like a little longer just because my hair is so dark. I feel like the drama of that helps me, but it's not going to work for everybody. Now we're going to do a similar thing with the top side where I am going to, once again, come in about that ½ inch and draw a guideline out. Now it's going to show you the general shape it's taking. Same thing on the other side. Don't get freaked out. It doesn't look good yet. We're not there yet. Yay, done. No, just kidding. You might have to fiddle a little bit. You might have to find your way. Now because I'm missing part of my brow, I have to work the coloring into the edges so that it looks natural enough. So I'm going to color in this gappy part, which obviously doesn't have any legit eyebrow hairs anymore. And then I'm gonna push in. I'm gonna push toward the center of my brow so that I'm not creating this very heavy demarcation. And a more modern trend in eyebrow makeup is to sort of leave this edge. And I actually really like it because it gives your face character. Everybody's eyebrows will end differently, and it's just part of how everybody's individual look develops. I'm gonna come over here to do my line. I'm gonna start from up here, the top point of my brow, and I'm going to come down. Now it's not perfect, we're getting there. Building your brow as opposed to just going nuts on it is largely a way to develop the shape you want. You can use the edge of your finger to guide it in and adjust around. And there are also color corrections if by chance you have like a little bit of a thing. But as you can see, it's developing here. In future videos, chances are I'm going to be doing a lot more where my brows are already done just because it is a time-consuming part because you do want to get as close to symmetry as you can get. But just take your time, set aside some time to experiment with shapes of brows, ideas, look on YouTube. There's so many different beauty bloggers who have different ideas of what they do. There's a lot to choose from and everybody's face is a little different. I just went looking for Q-tips and apparently like Nami's a hot mess enough that she didn't have any right now. So, I'm gonna show you the method that I most commonly use, mostly because I'm in a rush too half the time. I take the edge of my finger and make sure that my finger is, you know, good and clean. I don't have any makeup on it. I just go along the edge and adjust. And while it's not gonna make it perfect, you just correct around it. If you have even just basic foundation, you can correct the shape of your brow. Now, I will show you the method that I use for that because it's pertinent right now. So I have my concealer and I have a brush. A lot of my makeup brushes, I don't use regular makeup brushes, mostly because they're pricey, and I can just go to a craft store and get actual artist brushes. I feel like there's a wider variety of shapes available in brushes at the craft store. So I'm going to take my pointed brush and externally make the shape that I want. I can do this above. And I like to brush it outward. So as you can see, it gives this really beautiful sharp line to the edge, but you still have foundation there. Gotta do a little bit more fill in on that, but that's not a big deal. And as I continue to develop the shape of my brow, I do not tend to continue to re-wet my brush because the shape is really what you're trying to get with the wet application in the beginning, and then you just fill it in. But as you can see, like, it is a very strong brow, which is not for everyone, but it works for me. And now I'm gonna correct underneath for shape. And there you have it. See, it's pretty sharp. And also know that opacity on your brows is not the thing you necessarily want to do every single time. I'm doing it because with a pinup look, that sort of drama is appropriate. But on other times, I actually use a brow pencil, which I'll show you in another video for a more casual look. Now for the other side. Time for concealer again. Time to sharpen up the edges of our brow. This past weekend, I did my friend's makeup. My friend Sherry Burnett got married to my other friend Josh Crystal. They're a beautiful couple. I love them both to pieces. And Sherry is not like a huge makeup person. So when I did her makeup, I did not do a brow this strong because to somebody who is not like a huge makeup person, this would scare the pants off of them. And you don't want to do that when you're doing somebody's makeup, especially for someone's wedding. What you're looking to do is look at what they have, what they already do, and enhance that. The point of doing makeup, and really it is, especially for weddings, people are marrying each other for who the other person is, not for some sort of manufactured idea of who they want them to be. So it's really important that when you're doing makeup for yourself or for somebody else, for an occasion like that, that you take into account factors like that. Not everyone wants to go full craziness all the time, and a lot of people just don't even want the hassle of having to adjust it throughout the day. Sherry looked gorgeous, but of course I had a very lovely canvas to work with to begin with, and this is just a quick shout out and congratulations to both of you guys. Mwah. I love you both. Congratulations and blessings for many, many years of happiness. And remember to blend out when you use this technique, not toward, because then you're gonna jack your biz up. For the most part, I will admit that eyebrows are basically one of the most time-consuming parts of my makeup regime. Most women I know who are really into their brows agree. Woohoo! There we have it. All right, cool. So we got our brows. Let's move on to contouring. Now, weird thing about contouring. So often when people approach contouring, you see a lot of videos where they suggest that you take a shade, a couple shades darker than like your natural foundation. Here's one of the problems with that. When you are pale but olive toned like myself, that doesn't quite work the same way. If I were to use a tone that's actually darker than mine, I do not get sun. I wear sunblock every single day, both in my foundation and as an under moisturizer. So me taking a tone that's a few shades darker makes my face look like I have dirt on it because it's so sort of yellowy, because I do have that olive undertone. I have to use something slightly different, and that's okay. So a lot of your beauty bloggers, a lot of them tan, do spray tan, etc. I don't do any of that stuff, and I keep it that way. I'm a pasty goth girl. I like it that way. So I'm gonna actually come back to my trusty Ardell eyebrow kit, and this, I know, don't get scared. This is the color that I'm going to use. So because I'm going out in like a daytime look, this is the color I'm going to use. However, during the winter, going out at night, I use almost a purpley gray, mostly because shadows don't cast on every skin tone the same way. You may have to experiment with colors, but you're not going to be able to just take any beauty blogger's idea and just apply it to your own face. So fiddle around a little bit, see what works best for you, try it out, but also know that a heavy contour for a daytime look or a look where you're not on stage or in front of a camera isn't really necessary. You do not have to contour every single day. I do not. Most days I don't. Usually on like an average day where I'm just like looking to go out, run some errands and not feel like a wildebeest, I throw on foundation, a little blush, maybe some lip balm, mascara, and eyebrows. And my eyebrows are definitely not this dramatic when I do that. So I have my trusty angle brush right here. I'm gonna hit this now. To start your contour for your cheeks, you're going to sort of feel along the side of your face and feel where your jaw attaches, right here near your ear, like about 1.5 inches in front of my ear. Your mileage may vary. Find where that is, and that's where you're going to put your initial mark. As you can see, obviously this is too dramatic and I can't do this in daylight, but you can see that it follows the line of my cheek where it hollows out. With your face having a different shape, you may have to do different things. That is okay. If you don't have a terribly defined crease in your face already for a daytime look, I wouldn't even bother with a contour there. I would just make sure that you concentrate your blush on the apple of your cheek and keeping it up here so that the attention stays up, but you're not doing so much to like draw it into the bone of your cheek. So as you can see, I'm only going down to about here. Basically, there's the tip of my cheekbone. It's about 1 inch behind that. I'm not going too much further forward, otherwise it casts a strange shadow. But as you can see here, wow, weird, it looks natural. Well, it looks natural because not everybody's face casts the same color shadows. That's what a contour is. It's not just there as some sort of like weird supplemental makeup. It is to enhance what shadows your face naturally casts. This provides better contrast for photos and for exposure in a lot of daylight. If you're in a very like light, heavy situation, contouring is amazing, especially for those of us who are pasty, because our features get lost in extra light. Come on over here, do the same thing. You can very clearly see that line. Sorry about that, we had a little bit of technical difficulty, but no worries there. Devin is joining us. Say hi, Devin.
Hi, I'm in the tub.
He's in the bathtub because he loves me and he's gonna watch the camera so it doesn't crap out on me again. And a special shout out today to Lisa from Rite Aid up on Hoosick. The
Best pharmacy tech
world's
ever.
greatest pharmacy tech, who also has the most boss nails, makeup, and accessories ever. I seriously need to like go out and get jewelry with this lady because she has the coolest stuff.
I effing love Lisa.
We do. So to continue on, camera crapped out on me. We were continuing on with our contouring. I did a little bit under here, dabbing into my jawline here, going along the underside of my jaw. You don't want to come up too far because it will look like facial hair. You want it to go about here. Then you're gonna blend down. And I like to take my finger and just blend it further, especially for something people are gonna see in daylight. Now a lot of people like nose contouring. I'll show you how I do mine. It's basically the same thing right here. The reason I don't like using pencils is that if it does not have what in makeup production is called the same slip as you're seeing glide as your under foundation, then it, as you blend it, can actually pull your foundation off, and you don't want that. I really love this because if by chance I goof something up, take a little foundation, dab it on, and it's a fix. No big deal. And once again, blend out, but don't do too far. If you do tend to have a more prominent nose, lean into it. Don't try and make features disappear with makeup. If there's something about them that you want to like sort of size or color correct, you know, go nuts. But really, when it comes to makeup, the best illusions work with the natural base of what you already have as opposed to working against them.
Oh, so the blue is a wrong choice in my makeup tutorial?
Oh, your makeup tutorial, Devin. It was basically the most magical thing that ever happened. If you haven't seen it, go on back. Take a look at makeup tutorial.
The amazing Devin's makeup tutorial.
Now I can talk. Yes, Devin's amazing makeup tutorial that apparently was recommended by Chris Nolan himself.
Changed his life.
It changed his life, apparently.
Make sure to check that thumbnail.
Moving on.
Facts. Not true. It's not true.
So, moving forward. Now it's time for eyes. I'm gonna throw on my lid primer. Pretty standard biz. I do it with my finger. A lot of people do it otherwise. I don't super care.
Don't stop.
I like using my finger because usually I do my brow before so that I can coordinate the shape of things like my cat's eye, etc. with the shape of the brow that I've chosen that day. And using my finger gives me a little bit more control to make sure that I'm not messing up the progress I've already made. When I first learned to do similar looks, I had just started working with a burlesque company based out of Atlanta, Georgia, called Big City Burlesque. The man who directed and produced that show, Kenton McGee, taught me how to do makeup. At the time, I was a disaster at it. Luckily, Kenton was both frequently amused by my mistakes and remarkably patient with me and taught me a great number of things. And this look is largely based on that with some modern day variations. Hi Kenton, I hope life is going well. So here, I've got my Revolution palette. I, as you can see, use this white color all the time. I'm gonna dab it in the corner of my eye and blend outward. Oh, and you're gonna note that I haven't thrown a highlighter on those contours yet. You are absolutely correct, but that's one of the last things I do because I don't use a cream contrast. There are reasons for that I'll discuss when I get there. I am moving on to the rest of the lid color. I am using Space Cowboy by Urban Decay. I love this stuff so much. It's so sparkly and pretty, and it just makes me happy. So this is what I'm using. And as you can see, I have also used a ton of this and need to replace it. And Oberon is joining us today. If you hear some meowing.
Or some clanking.
Or clanking. Oberon sometimes has to eat in the bathroom where we have two very fussy tuxedo kittens who like to try and steal food from him. So, unlike a standard pinup look, like a 1940s style, so much of their makeup was very matte. I do like to incorporate sparkle, which is sort of a modernization on the same theme. But as you can see, it's sort of this champagne color. It's got some pretty sparkle to it, but I'm not gonna go nuts. Go, Bubba?
Bye, old man.
Come on, Bubba. Come on, you don't have to leave, buddy. What is happening? Oh, you're just crying and because you want attention? He doesn't even want to leave. He just wants me to play with him. But I'm covered in makeup, Bubba. I can't. Now, we're going to go to the crease. So to get that sort of Technicolor vibe that you get from a lot of like 40s pinup, I want to actually provide a little bit of an orange glow. This color will not work on everybody. So fiddle around, try your colors. Generally speaking, your color set will be in this palette. I'm actually going to use this sort of burnt orange, but if by chance you have slightly darker skin tone, you might want to go with a more salmony, and it'll give this bit of a glow to your eye. Which brush, So I'm taking a more diffuse brush. I'm just going right here in the crease. I'm starting from the edge and moving forward. So there's that. I am going to take a little bit of this and go underneath my eye. Stop having consumption all over my bathroom, Devin.
Don't tell me how to live my life. I'll consume wherever I want.
You're messing with my funky flow.
That's really the thing that was missing, right?
Yeah, your funky flow is missing consumption. I think we need to talk to Lisa.
Okay.
What do we do about consumption?
Oh, she's gonna tell you go to the doctor because of pharmacy tech. That's probably about what would happen.
Like you could always get really nice nails.
So I'm gonna create a more modern cut crease here to sort of update the look. I'm gonna use the same color from my brow kit that I used on my eyes. I'm going to go directly into the crease and just very gently dab it forward. Now it's not gonna be as extreme as a standard cut crease, but it'll provide some of the differentiation you're gonna want, and then you're gonna blend it outward. So we're gonna get here, over here, All right, it's a little bit dark, but we're gonna blend this bad boy. I'm gonna blend outward again. And especially make sure you blend up here when you do anything like this. If you are doing a layered look like this, because you don't want there to be like a solid line right here and here going, I'm wearing makeup. Like, yeah, most people should know that you're wearing makeup, but they shouldn't be able to call you out on it, for lack of any better term. All right, base eye is handled. Let's get into some eyeliner. I'm gonna be doing a black eyeliner with a wing here. Got my ELF liquid. A lot of people get really intimidated by the liquid liner. Just remember, if you have concealer or brush, Q-tips, nothing's permanent and everything can be fixed. I'm gonna start in the lash line. I don't really wanna go Amy Winehouse with this to look fabulous. That's a bit too extreme for this particular look. It's better to start small and build up. So there is my cat eye. On the one side, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Grew up.
Yeah, shoot. Sorry, guys.
Evan just came in here to wreck stuff.
I'm gonna wreck it.
Here we are. We're gonna create our cat eye on this side.
You have a problem?
What?
I'm out of coffee.
Oh well. No. Cry it out for a minute.
Where'd it go?
Oh my god, little boy. Everybody hears you.
He's like, there's a camera and I'm not in it. Daddy.
Oh, my lawyer's gonna contact you. My agent.
Like, I better get a percentage. My voice is in the clip.
Get a percentage of cat food. How about that?
Just bullshit.
Nah, he'd be happy enough with it.
That's true. He's pretty much happy with pets. You're so gorgeous.
Thanks, friend.
You're welcome, pal. I like your face.
Ooh, there we go. What would everybody think of me doing Devin's makeup?
Yeah, but then I don't do it. That's true.
Well,
Never
then maybe
mind.
you can do my makeup.
What do people think of that?
There we go. All right, here we are, evened up. Sometimes I would wear false lashes. Today, I just don't feel like it, so I'm not gonna. I already have a filled-in lash line that provides enough drama, and because I'm going to be meeting with somebody in person, this may be a bit too much to do with false lashes. If there is a piece of makeup equipment or something that somebody absolutely insists must be a thing, ask yourself if you think it's a thing. I frequently find that because I'm sight impaired, having false lashes can be weirdly distracting in my field of vision, so I don't always use them. Sometimes they're just a pain in the butt. And if you're gonna have a better time out with friends and you know, having the lashes or wearing the lipstick or wearing one product or another that's a huge pain in your ass, don't wear it and have fun, because when you're feeling good, you'll look good.
It's like a catchphrase or something.
Let the liquid liner dry, do-do-do. So as you can see, there are my cat's eyes. Your cat's eyes might have a different shape if you have a heavier upper lid. If you have different shaped eyes, it's going to be different.
What about chubby underlids?
Then you just put lots of blue eyeshadow on them like Devin did. He's very insightful that way. There we are, looking pretty even. Woohoo! There we are. Now we're gonna cover highlighting in cheeks. So personally, I like to place my highlighter over a little bit. So I'm gonna start with my cheek color. I'm going to use this. Now if you're going for stage, you'd probably use a more pumped up color, but I'm going for a slightly muted pinup look. I don't want it to be cartoony when I'm out in public. Apply to the apple of your cheeks, and especially if you've done a contour, you're gonna take the edge of your brush with the blush, and you're gonna sort of push your blush forward starting at the contour a little bit, not a whole heck of a lot, but that way it looks more like a natural shadow as opposed to, you know, some weird floating shade out of nowhere.
You don't look like Lumpy Space Princess now.
Talk for yourself.
Hey, we don't talk about my face. He's
boss. I'm a bad guys.
Brad.
Drama ball. There's our blush, pretty simple. Now, this is a product that Bedhead no longer makes. It's what I use as my highlight powder. I've basically been rationing this out for years. I'm going to apply some of this to a brush. It's got a slight shimmer to it, and this is how I'm applying my highlight. One of the problems with being pasty, I literally buy the #1 in this color line. So I'm pretty damn pale. It doesn't get much whiter than that unless we start going into like clown makeup. We don't want to be doing that either because once again, it doesn't look right. So here I'm going to take this little bit of highlighter and hit very top edge of my cheek. Especially as you get older, be careful when you're using things that are metallic, shimmery, etc. I've noticed as I've gotten older, this area on my eyes, it's very sensitive skin. It gets thinner over time. So avoid putting highlighter in there because every little sparkle will catch every slight wrinkle. If you're having a dry skin day, it will exacerbate it. So I generally like to keep in this area things fairly matte, and everywhere else I go a little dewy for maintaining a more youthful perspective. Do the same thing on the bridge of my nose. And right here on my chin. So there, and a little on my forehead. I don't go too crazy on the forehead because as I do get older, I am noticing that the I think you're a moron lines in my forehead are becoming way more prominent. So once again, you get too much shimmer in there and it takes every single like little line and it makes it a billion times more prominent. All right, we're on the home stretch, yay! So now we're coming to lips. This red is a product that is no longer made anymore. This is a company called Fifi Mahoney's. I've had this for years, probably much longer than I should have, but I love it. I'm never going to be able to get this again. This is a highly pigmented matte lip color. It's called Winter Red. It's what I used to wear when I first started doing burlesque. I love it, I adore it, and I'm probably going to cry for a month when it's finally out on me. I'm also going to use, I think this is a Milani called Bonfire, and I'm going to line my lips. So I'm going to do a slightly more rounded arch bow on the top. I'm going to follow sort of a less standard lip line. A lot of modern lip lines tend to be very big and very exaggerated. This is exaggerated in a slightly different way, largely because of the shape. Now, as I so noticed with adjusting lip shape, I always have to adjust because I have this weird fang tooth here, and it does make my lip do some weird stuff on this side. So I overcompensate a little bit with my lines. So there's my general shape. Now I'm going to take my trusty lip brush here. Oop, by the way, don't ever get a lip brush that's not covered because they get gooey and gross and all sorts of crap gets in them and stuff. I think I'm just going to keep it like this. This is nice. This is nice. It's a good look.
You're alright.
Steven. That woman's hilarious.
She is hilarious.
She kills me.
What's her name again?
You're asking me things before I've had breakfast.
That's fair.
I love how just totally done with her crap her partner is. It's hilarious.
Well, I love her inappropriateness, but then when he does it to her, it's it's hilarious on both sides.
I haven't seen his.
Oh, they're funny. His are funny.
So as you can see, this is a more rounded lip look than we normally go with nowadays, but that would have been more appropriate in the 40s. However, I'm going to show you how I'm going to make it a little more modern. So the way that I'm going to modernize this look is by creating a little more dimension in the lip. I have a color that is essentially like a wine burgundy color, and I'm going to use this, gather a little up on my lip brush. I rarely, if ever, actually apply a lipstick directly to my lips. I almost always apply with a brush. I'm going to create a little color contrast right here, just to create a little more depth, something a little different. So as you can see, I've added a little bit of color depth to this, just for a little bit of contrast. Now for one final, more modern touch, I'm gonna revisit our Space Cowboy here in the Urban Decay stuff, and I'm actually gonna grab a little teeny weeny little brush, and I'm going to ever so slightly dust the bow of my lip and just below. And as you can see, it's just a very light contrast, just something to mix it up a little bit. I'm gonna slightly color correct. And there we are.
You look awesome, babe. I love you.
You look awesome too. You're the most amazing looking shower curtain I've ever seen. So this is it. My sort of modernized pinup look. Something that almost anybody can do. You can do a little more, a little bit less, but it's at least a base to build upon for any number of other looks. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, hi Lisa, best pharmacy tech at Rite Aid. Hello to all of you who have tuned in again, and once again, our sincere apologies for being missing in action for so many months. Life got crazy, but we're back to making things happen for you. I hope you like this video. Please like, say hi to Devin, our lovely cameraman.
Hi, and subscribe. And
Yes.
please leave us comments. We love reading them. And also, if you guys like this modernized 1940s style, let us know what you think of possibly a Peggy Carter and Steven Rogers cosplay that we want to make an all DIY cosplay and go visit kids in the hospital once we get that all set up.
Absolutely.
Let us know what you think. Leave us some comments down below. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Hearts and skulls, kids. Bye.